Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is D'Angela Vaughn and I talk about natural hair content, lifestyle content, counseling, all types of stuff. But this video is going to be a hair video about why your hair is not growing. Alright, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put this disclaimer out there. Unless you have some type of medical issue such as alopecia, your hair will grow. The issue is probably that you are not able to retain your length, which makes it look like your hair is not growing past a certain length. So this video is going to give you guys all of my major tips for how to actually retain the hair that you're growing so that you can reach all of your hair goals for this year. So the first reason why your hair might not be growing is your hair is just dry, especially your ends. So hair that is dry is a lot more brittle compared to hair that is very moisturized. And I'm gonna give y'all like a little visual reference. If you think about a spaghetti noodle, all right? So before you cook your spaghetti, that uncooked spaghetti noodle is very hard, it's very brittle. You can snap it in half really easily, right? But then once you put the spaghetti into the boiling water and it gets all soft and you can bend it, you can wrap it around your finger, and it's not gonna just snap in half. That is how your hair is. Moisturized hair strands are very supple, they can bend, they can twist, and not break. However, a hair strand that is really dry is gonna be so brittle and so easy to break. And that is why your hair could be breaking off. With natural hair especially, we have all these curls and all these coils. And if you think about it, the moisture has to travel all the way from the top of our head all the way through all these curls to the very ends of your hair. And the likelihood of that happening is just not that high, especially if you are not taking out the time to really add moisture into your hair, especially your ends. So your ends are always probably going to be the driest part of your hair because they're also the oldest part of your hair, and again, the farthest from the root of your hair. Not to mention the ends of your hair are always rubbing up against your clothes or against your bed. They just get a lot more wear and tear compared to the rest of your hair. And this is the part of your hair that's most likely to break off. And if those ends are constantly breaking as your hair is growing out, it's gonna look like you're not retaining any of your length. So that literally means that you have to baby your ends. You have to make sure that you are constantly taking extra time to add extra moisture specifically to the bottom portion of your hair. That includes when you're washing, that includes when you're deep conditioning, when you're styling. Just always make sure that you are paying special attention and adding product onto your ends. So the second reason why your hair might not be growing is you're not deep conditioning. And again, this is a crucial step in your hair routine because hair that is dry is going to break. And leave-ins, creams, moisturizers, they moisturize your hair in a superficial way. So they can make your hair feel really soft and feel really smooth. They can even make your hair look super moisturized, but that's just the outside of your hair. Deep conditioners actually work on the inside of your hair strand, which is why deep conditioning has to be incorporated into your hair routine. Simply just using a leave-in moisturizer is not going to give you the moisture that natural hair really needs. So deep conditioning should typically be done every single time that you wash your hair. For me, that's every week or every other week. And I always apply my deep conditioner in 4 sections, and then in each section I divide that section into 2. So essentially I'm deep conditioning in 8 different sections, and this just ensures that every single strand of hair is getting that deep conditioner. And you don't necessarily have to do that if your hair is not as dense or thick as mine, but if your hair is very thick, I definitely recommend that. And then I just let the deep conditioner sit on my hair for about 45 minutes to an hour. Sometimes I don't use heat, but for the most part, I usually use a heating cap. And that's just because heat helps the moisture to penetrate even better than just letting it sit. So reason number 3, you might need a protein treatment. So let's say you've been deep conditioning, you've been taking care of your ends, and your hair just still looks limp. It just feels, it's just not it. The curls are not curling like you want them to curl. You might need to do a protein treatment. So hair is literally made up of protein, primarily keratin, and these protein bonds in your hair can be broken. So things that can break these bonds include chemicals such as relaxers or hair dye, but the bonds can also be broken by excessive heat. So if you are using any type of chemicals on your hair, such as you're dyeing your hair, you definitely need to be doing protein treatments regularly. And a lot of the times, you can buy an actual protein treatment that goes along with whatever hair dye brand you're using, because they know that hair dye is very tough on your hair. So make sure that you're using those protein treatments. And the same thing goes for if you are straightening your hair. Before you straighten your hair, you should always use a protein treatment deep conditioner beforehand. This just ensures that you are preparing your hair for the heat that is to come. And you might want to also do a protein treatment after you straighten your hair as well, especially if your hair is feeling a little bit limp after you straighten it. So I actually got my hair straightened and wand curled for my wedding, and it was so beautiful. But after the fact, I could definitely tell that my hair was a little bit weaker than it was before I got my hair straightened and wand curled. And that made sense because I pretty much never use that much direct heat on my hair at one time. And my hair, I think, was just a little bit in shock right after. And some of my curls were just looking a little bit on the limp side. But y'all, I did my protein treatment. I think I did it like 2 weeks back to back, and it got my hair back to how it was looking. Of course, I still had to trim off any pieces that were still a little scraggly, but for the most part, my hair is perfectly fine now, as you can see. So sometimes that is all your hair is needing, is just a nice protein treatment. So if you've tried other things and it's just not working out, try a protein treatment. So reason number 4, you're using too much heat or too much color. So protein treatments are great. Like I said, they were able to get my hair back to how I was used to it looking. However, if you are using heat all the time, like every week, 3-4 times a month, your hair is probably not going to be able to take that much heat, especially if it is direct heat, such as flat ironing or curling your hair. It's just not going to be able to handle all that heat, more than likely. And the same thing goes for coloring your hair. Hair that has just been essentially fried is just not going to grow as long as you want it to, because again, those bonds in your hair are just being broken every single time you're using that heat over and over and over. And hair that has broken bonds is going to break a lot easier. And of course, the same thing goes for any chemicals such as relaxers or coloring your hair. Now, I am not telling you that you can never straighten your hair or that you can never color your hair. Again, I straightened my hair for my wedding. I pretty much straighten my hair, I would say, at least once or twice a year, and that is fine for my hair. However, I always make sure that I'm using my heat protectant, I'm doing my protein treatments, and I don't have the heat up an excessive amount. Hair starts to burn at 420 degrees, so you really don't want to be having your flat iron anywhere near that, because that is going to cause you some damage. So I would say you don't have to be afraid of using heat, but just do so carefully. Make sure that you are doing everything that you need to do, and don't rely on heat as the only way that you style your hair if you want your hair to grow past a certain length. Now for coloring your hair, I do not have a whole lot of experience as a natural with hair color because I have not colored my hair at all since I've been natural. However, quick little story. Before I went natural, I decided to go and get my hair basically bleached before I went off to college. And I remember Sierra had this hairstyle where the ends of her hair were blonde and she had like a blonde streak in the front, and I just had to have it. So I got my hair bleached and it was really pretty. However, one, I did not know what I was doing with my hair back then. I was basically relying on my hairstylist to take care of my hair, which was fine until I went off to school and I was not able to come see her on a regular basis like I was doing before. And on top of that, my hair was relaxed at the time. So not only do I not know how to take care of my hair, I don't know how to take care of this color in my hair, and I also have chemical relaxer on top of chemical color in my hair. It was a disaster, as y'all can probably guess. All of those ends broke off, all the blonde broke off, like it was horrible. Do I think that would happen right now if I dyed my hair? No, I don't, because again, I've learned how to actually take care of my hair. However, you do have to be very, very careful when you are messing around with coloring your hair. I would say make sure that you are going to a professional to get your hair colored. I'm a big advocate of doing your own hair. I do basically 99% of things with my hair myself, but I would not color my own hair. If that was ever something that I decided to do, I would go to a professional to get it done, because it's just one of those things that you really need to know what you're doing so that you don't just ruin your hair. So get a professional to color it. Color it as little as possible. So if you can get away with maybe like only getting it retouched every several months or something, I think that's a lot better. And also, the more drastic of a hair color change you're trying to achieve, the more chemical and damage that is potentially going to be put into your hair, because you're probably going to have to use bleach, which we all know is a very harsh chemical. So if you are going to color your hair, maybe consider just lightening it a little bit, or maybe just do like a few highlights. That's always going to be a little bit safer versus just trying to dye your whole hair blonde. And don't color your hair if your hair is already damaged. Putting hair color on hair that's already damaged is only going to create more damage, which is the opposite of what we're trying to do. So if you do decide to color your hair, make sure that your hair is as healthy and as ready for the color as it possibly can be. So reason number 5, your hair is not growing because you are not consistent. So y'all, growing your hair is the same thing as any other goal that you want to accomplish. It takes consistency, it takes a plan. If your hair has been at your shoulders for 5 years and you haven't made any changes to what you've been doing in your hair routine, you're gonna get the same results. Like, you can't expect to get something different if you're not doing anything different. You obviously have to change up something because what you've been doing isn't working. And that's where your hair routine comes in. Now, I will admit that my hair routine now in 2024 is very, very simple because I'm a full-time graduate student. I'm a wife. I really don't have time to be spending all day doing my hair. However, I still have a very specific hair routine that I follow every week or every other week. And that includes pre-pooing, shampooing, deep conditioning, and then styling. And after I style my hair, y'all, I just leave my hair alone. I don't do anything else to it. And I will talk more about that in a second. But you have to wash your hair, y'all. Like, I cannot stress that enough. You cannot go weeks and weeks and weeks without washing your hair and expect to have healthy hair growth. It's just not going to happen, especially not with natural hair. Our hair needs TLC. We have to take our time working through our hair, moisturizing our hair, making sure that it's clean. That requires a routine, and you have to be willing to dedicate some time to your hair. I know nobody wants to be spending hours and hours doing their hair, but I promise the more that you do the routine, the easier that it becomes. And I can finish up my hair in about 2 to 3 hours now, whereas before it would take me a lot longer because I was still learning. But now that I have it completely down pat, I can finish it in a few hours while I'm doing other things. While my deep conditioner is sitting, I can be working on homework or doing something else. And you don't feel like you're just stuck doing your hair all day. And the best part is, once I do my hair and I style it, it's styled for the week. Sometimes 2 weeks, depending on how long I can get it to last. So just do it that one day and then you're good to go for the rest of the week. And that's a perfect segue into reason number 6 why your hair might not be growing. You're messing with it too much. So like I said, after I wash and style my hair, I completely leave it alone. I'm not constantly messing with my hair and switching up styles and, oh, what style do I want to do today? Like, For the most part, I'm a very simple natural. My hair is out like this most of the time, either in a wash and go, twist out, braid out, something. But this is it. This is pretty much how I wear my hair. And at night, I just throw it up into a pineapple, put my bonnet on, go to sleep. Morning time, bonnet off, hair down, fluff a little bit, and I'm out the door. So again, you don't need to be spending 30 minutes a day trying to get your hair to act right or trying to get it to cooperate. That's just a lot of manipulation that your hair does not need. On those days where my hair is not cooperating and it's just not laying how I want to, which is usually after maybe a couple weeks and I haven't restyled it, on those days, I throw my hair up in a puff. I throw my hair up in a bun, ponytail, something. And again, I'm out the door. That's one of the great things about natural hair. You can always put it up. And usually when I do have a puff, I leave that puff for a few days until I'm ready to actually wash my hair again. And during that whole time, I am just leaving my hair alone. Another option to help you leave your hair alone is protective styling. You can either protective style with your own natural hair, such as mini twists, braids, something like that, or you can protective style with added hair, faux locks, braids, twists, whatever you want to do. This helps you leave your hair alone, and it also protects your hair while you're also leaving your hair alone. You don't want to overdo it with the protective styling because you do want to make sure that you're taking it down and actually taking care of your hair underneath the protective style. But it is a great way to give you a break and give your hair a break while you're also protecting it at the same time. So reason number 7, you're detangling your hair incorrectly. So this goes back to your ends being dry and not having a natural hair routine. Detangling is one of the most important parts of your hair routine, and for me, it's the very first step when I am doing my hair routine. So I detangle my hair during the pre-poo process, and essentially pre-pooing is just preparing your hair for the actual wash day. So this is what I do before I even apply any shampoo onto my hair. Pre-pooing just makes my life way easier because I can get my hair nice and detangled, and I'm not spending a long time in the shower trying to detangle my hair while I'm washing it. And you have to remember that curly hair is exactly that. It's very curly. It likes to wrap around itself, and you have to make sure that you are working through those tangles and making sure that you're getting out all of the shed hair that maybe didn't fall out throughout the week. So you guys, you cannot detangle your hair while it is just bone dry. That is a huge no-no. Why? Because we talked about it earlier. Dry hair breaks super easily, especially if it's already tangled. So instead of detangling it dry, make sure that you're using some type of conditioner or cream that you can use to just work through your hair. The moisturizer, the conditioner, whatever you're using is going to help loosen up those tangles and allow you to really work through your hair without causing breakage. So I prefer to finger detangle as opposed to using a comb or a brush. I do have a detangling brush that I use sometimes if I just want to make sure that I'm thoroughly detangling my hair, but for the most part I'm using my fingers every single time. And I prefer to finger detangle just because I like to be able to feel my hair. I like to be able to feel the tangles. And I'm just a lot more gentle with my fingers than I am if I'm using like a comb or a brush. Sometimes when you're using that comb or using that brush, you don't even realize that you are snapping your hair off as you're trying to work your way through your hair. When you're using your fingers, you can literally feel each tangle and work your way through. So if you feel like you're getting a lot of breakage when you're detangling, maybe try finger detangling. I know it seems like it's gonna take forever, but again, as you do it more and more, it becomes a lot quicker and a lot easier. And also, do not detangle from the top down. Please don't do that. Detangle from the bottom and work your way all the way up. I promise you will see a lot less breakage if you start detangling your hair the right way. So, reason number 8, you need a trim. Okay, so I know this sounds very counterintuitive. You're like, girl, I'm trying to grow my hair and you're telling me to cut it off. I get it. But yes, that is what I'm telling you you need to do. If your ends are see-through, if they're tangling up, single strand knots, they're feeling rough, you need to cut it. Like, you need to let those ends go. All they're doing is just holding you back. And to be honest, your hair will look way better once you get rid of those see-through ends. I literally just got done trimming my hair the other day because some of my curls were just not curling the way I wanted them to curl, and they had to go. Like, it was what it was. I personally like to do my full trims when I straighten my hair once a year, and that's just because it's a lot easier to see where your hair is thinner or where it just looks not the best when your hair is straight. When your hair is curly hair tends to kind of hide a lot of things. It kind of hides the damage or the split ends. And so when my hair is curly, I just do kind of like spot trims here and there where I can just see like, oh, a curl that's not looking that great. So that's what I did the other day, and it has just made my curls pop so much more. Like, you can see like the ends of my hair are just curling up really pretty, and that's what always happens after I do a trim. Now, if your hair is damaged and you haven't had a trim in a while, you might need a fresh start. And this, I would recommend going to a professional for to get an actual cut. Just go to a hairstylist and get them to cut off all of those see-through ends. And then after that, you can do your own trims every couple of months or so. but just having that nice foundation will let your hair all grow out very evenly and very thick and very full, versus trying to hold on to it. Y'all, I know, trust me, I know what that's like when you're trying to reach a hair goal and you just don't want to cut your hair. However, having a head full of hair that is thick and pretty from the root to the tips is a lot more appealing than having a head full of hair but only half of it is healthy and the other half is just scraggly. Like, it's not a good look. You have to just be willing to let it go and start fresh. And on top of that, when you hold on to those scraggly ends, they're weighing the healthy part of your hair down. And also, the reason why your ends are see-through is because that hair is splitting, and it'll continue to split all the way up your hair shaft. So you might have started with this much split hair, but because you didn't cut that off, now you have this much split hair because it just kept splitting all the way up. And now when you get a haircut, you have to cut off way more than you wanted to. So just go ahead and bite the bullet and cut it off now so that you can just have a nice fresh start. And I know it's hard, but ultimately the goal is for healthy long hair, not just long hair. Because if your hair is healthy, it will grow long. So whatever your goals are, I know you're going to be able to reach them. Just make sure that you're staying consistent and following these tips that I gave you guys. Let me know if you have any questions or if there's any topic that you want me to expound on more. I could do a whole nother video for you guys. And if you liked this video, then I highly recommend that you watch this playlist. It's my beginner's guide for natural hair. And essentially that playlist has everything from my hair routine, from my favorite products, my hair journey, just everything that you need to know about how I take care of my natural hair. So make sure that you check those videos out, and thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye.